Hello, my name is Tomasz Koch, and I am head of the Polish Lean Institute, and would like to introduce to you two speakers, Łukasz Krause and Jakub Węgorowski. Both are my colleagues from the Volkswagen Poznań, which is a Volkswagen branch in Poland, quite a big factory. They will certainly introduce the plant they work, and they will tell you about their experiences within product preparation process. And then after the presentation, there will be chance to ask the questions. There will be a couple minutes before we leave the session for the question and answer. Łukasz and Jakub, the stage is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. We are very happy to welcome you to this session, and it's great to see people from different countries and backgrounds here today. In the next 25 minutes, we will talk about our experience with 3P workshops at Volkswagen Poznań and how we launch new products using this method. And we would like to share with you our ideas, and hopefully you will learn something from us. But before we dive in, we would like first briefly introduce ourselves.
Thank you very much, Kuba. Hello, everybody. My name is Łukasz Krause, and I'm excited to be here today and to share with you a piece of my work and also my passion. I'm experienced lean manufacturing specialist, and I've been working in process design and optimization department at Volkswagen Poznań for almost 10 years. And I started out in our newest plant in Brzeźnia during the preparations for launching the largest vehicle in our model range, Volkswagen Crafter. And after 2 years, I moved to our plant in Poznań. And through the years, I had a great opportunity to prepare and proof of concept and finally conduct 3P workshop for our new models. And among there were models like KD5, Renew Transporter, KD5 plug-in hybrid, or Crafter UNEC, and a special version of our cars as well, electric vehicle ID bus in Germany.
Hello once more. My name is Jakub Węgorowski, and currently I'm working in the same department as Łukasz, process design optimization. I am a coordinator, but I'm also responsible for conducting workshops in the production areas as a facilitator. But before I moved into the department, I worked 12 years in the logistics department, where I gathered some practical knowledge about the whole supply chain and the processes in the production, which determine how the components are being delivered. And in that way, of course, it's easier to optimize processes if you know them. Let me start by saying a few words first about our company. Volkswagen Group is based in Wolfsburg, as you probably know, and is one of the biggest car producers of commercial and of cars and commercial vehicles. And in fact, it's the largest car manufacturer in Europe. The company includes many brands and offers a wide range of products, such as financial services, parts production, motorcycles, passenger cars, up to luxury vehicles. More than 680,000 people work at 114 locations worldwide, and the company produces over 32,000 vehicles every day. We are working in the commercial vehicles, which is an important part of the whole Volkswagen Group. And as an independent brand within the group, it is based in Hanover. We are responsible worldwide for developing, producing, and selling light commercial vehicles. And we make models like you probably know, the Transporter, Caddy, Crafter, and Amarok. In 2024, the brand sold more than 400,000 light vehicles made in 4 plants, Hanover in Germany, Poznań and Brzeźnia in Poland, and Pacheco in Argentina. And we employ over 24,000 people around the globe.
And now a short introduction to the Volkswagen Poznań. Volkswagen Poznań is a part of the Volkswagen commercial vehicles, as Kuba mentioned, and operates in 4 state-of-the-art plants. And with around 9,000 employees, we are proud to be the largest employer in Greater Poland, so in the region that we are today. And founded back in 1993, the company recently celebrated its 30th anniversary. And just last year, we produced nearly 275,000 vehicles. Our core products is Volkswagen Caddy and Volkswagen Crafter, so 2 models that define our commitment to quality and innovation. As I mentioned, we operate 4 production sites, all located close to each other, but each with its own unique role. And our journey starts at Plant 1, here in Poznań, where the Volkswagen Caddy is born. Then we move to the Plant 2, the home of the Crafter. And Plant 3 is something special. It's our foundry where we produce key components like cylinder heads and suspension elements. And these parts don't just stay here. They supply many other Volkswagen plants across the group. And finally, Plant 4 is a just short distance from Poznań and acts an extension role for our main site. This is where we will find our key suppliers and the component warehouse that keeps our production running smoothly. And each plant plays a critical role in a bigger picture. And now you can see the big picture of Europe. And Poland is located in the center. And this is the one of the leading producers of automotive parts. In fact, around 60% of our suppliers are based here in Poland. And the second largest share comes from Germany, accounting for about 26%. This strong local supply is a key advantage. It helps us stay agile, reduce the lead times, and maintain the highest quality across our production. That was just the beginning. In the next part, we will take you behind the scenes to show how we bring our vehicles to life and what makes our production approach lean and efficient.
Okay, so let's dive into the actual topic of this session. One of the key elements for a company as large as Volkswagen is, of course, ensuring unified standards. And even though our plants produce many different models, the production is based on a set of standardized methods, which we call the production system. It includes principles for operating and design, procedures and tools for process optimization on the way to a value-driven and synchronized enterprise. And the core mindset of the production system is, not surprisingly, the lean thinking. This means always eliminating all types of waste and avoiding losses, so the goal of a stable and lean processes can be achieved across the whole company. And this makes, to make this happen, we need methods and tools, of course, written down. And a crucial part of this approach is the process of continuous improvement. And I'm sure you all have similar systems in your companies and enterprises. And the 3P method, which we will be talking about today, is deeply embedded in our Volkswagen production system. The 3P stand for production, preparation, and process. And in a traditional workshop, usually we focus on improving and optimizing the existing process. But the 3P method, however, aims more to design the target process at the early stage of its development. And the goal is to create processes that are efficient, scalable, and free from waste. What do we focus on? Well, we focus on the actual point where the value is created or added, and we are focusing on preparing the right work environment. This is the foundation for building an optimal process. And we also pay close attention to individual process steps, from sourcing components to final quality control. And every process step is analyzed for potential improvements.
Yeah, and cars are among the most complex products made by humans, and planning their production takes many steps. At Volkswagen Group, this process starts months before the first car is built, and it has 3 main phases divided into segments. And one key segment for us, this is 3P process workshop, which starts about 18 months before SOP, the start of production. At this point, a wide team of experts and production staff work together to design the process in the real factory layout and run process simulations. The result is an optimized production flow, a clear build sequence, planned workstation, and internal material supply plan including how parts will be placed on the line. And a few months later, we move to the next segment, the pre-P startup workshops. Here we build the pre-series cars. We are making the full test of the production process, and in this phase, we confirm or adjust what we planned earlier. And at the same time, we apply the Volkswagen production system and improve the process using lean manufacturing principles. Jacob described 2 minutes ago how complex the Volkswagen production system is. In fact, it covers every part of our manufacturing process. But to run 3P workshop, we focus on selected principles that guide our team in the right direction. At the core are the 9 types of waste in a special version adapted by Volkswagen, which adds to the classic lean approach. We also put strong focus on ergonomics for our employees and for the workstation. Another key point is resource allocation. That's why we record, measure, and analyze how is the process time used during the tax cycle. And at the same time, we build quality into process so that our customers can get the best experience with the Volkswagen products. Someone may ask,
why do we put so much effort into running 3P workshops?
Jacob, the answer is not simple. There are many reasons. First, we create a sense of shared purpose among experts from different departments who prepare and build the product. We also involve production line employees in setting work standards or making decisions about the process. And at the same time, we design ergonomic workstation and optimize resources, both for production and for logistic costs. And for us, 3P workshops are like a shield. This is the main tools to detect risk early. And all these elements build the key components that Jacob will present you in the moment.
Yes, Łukasz told you already about the 9 types of wastes as one of the key principles. Our goal is to reduce waste, and our goal to reduce waste is very clear and practical. We want our production, of course, to be leaner, so we try to cut the process steps to the bare minimum, and we clearly name the types of waste we aim to eliminate, and you can see them listed now on your screen. And understanding waste and its impact on the company helps us choose the right solutions. By applying these solutions, we open the way, sometimes a very difficult way, of course, but a way to better efficiency. The benefits we achieve include shorter production cycles, fewer downtimes, and better use of machines and equipment. But not all of the wastes are purely material. Although it may not be written down in our principles, we also see the need to look at waste from more human perspective that is directly connected to our people, because their unused potential is a major and often overlooked mistake in many companies. Better management of human resources and using their potential creativity leads to higher production and quality of work. And of course, in the long run, the greater employee satisfaction. This in turn drives the whole optimization engine we just started. And at Volkswagen, we make also sure that not only the processes created during the workshops are lean, but also that the procedure leading to these results are simple. And in our approach, we follow 4 steps that are logically connected to each other by achieving the target state. In the first step, we clearly define the scope of the workshop. We set measurable and realistic goals and prepare a set of assumptions. Then we move on in the second step to the initial process plan that we will be starting. That will be the starting point for our workshop, and even a rough plan from our experience with clearly defined open points is better than just jumping in without preparation, because this gives us the reference point for the future optimization. In the third step, we develop the target state. And the final stage is to summarize the results in a way that is clear and acceptable for all the participants of the future process. This includes a layout, a list of activities, tools, and key indicators such as costs and production times, and required space. An important part of every workshop is also a list of corrective actions for identified problems and open points. This procedure is easy to understand and easy to repeat, and thanks to its universal nature, it allows us to achieve comparable results in every workshop. The 2 middle steps of the procedure are actually the core of our work and follow the so-called Deming cycle. or also known as the PDCA. With well-prepared input data, we first start the simulations with the workshop team based on the planned state. Then we move on, and the results of the simulation are being analyzed critically in terms of assembly times, ergonomics, and costs. Then we prepare the necessary improvements, and the optimized version is tested again. The cycle for a given workstation is completed once the team successfully simulates the target scenario. Of course, some open points may remain, but they are documented together with the description of the target process. What is also worth mentioning, the optimization cycle starts at the workstation. We work from the inside to the outside. So from the place where the value is created or added to the process and activities around it, such as material setup, containers, and delivery process. And it's also important to say that this cycle would not succeed without the willingness of our colleagues to cooperate. The best ideas and improvements always come from the people who work in the process.
Can only confirm that Kuba mentioned, because the pre-built workshops are above all about people. They are the core, they are the driving and creative force behind the production process, and the group of participants is cross-functional. It brings together specialists from technical department who design the production process and employees from the line or area who will later build the vehicle. In this, production representatives are the largest part of the team, and it's its backbone. Together with production, we have the production planning, logistics, support teams such as biomechanical, ergonomic, work safety, and quality department. And under the guidance of skilled facilitators, they work together to achieve the goals of 3P workshop. And one very important part of running a workshop is understanding and following the rules of all participants. And here comes something new, the idea of sponsor. Yes, every workshop should have its own sponsor. I can say more, everybody should have a sponsor, but we are not supposed to speak about the money. And I go back to the main topic. And the client, this is sponsor, this is the client for whom the workshop process is carried out. In practice, the main beneficiary of the workshop is the production area. That's why its manager becomes as final sponsor and it's responsible for the result. The manager also defines the goals for the workshop team. These goals include ensuring a stable process flow and running a full test, but they can also include extra objectives. And the workshops team works to deliver solutions. Not all ideas can be implemented right now. Kuba mentioned about open points. This is this moment. And some need more preparation. The team defines improvements or problem fixes, then records them with group approval and assigns a responsible person to set a deadline in the workshop's report. And after the workshop, the report goes to the sponsor, who makes sure the responsible person implements the solution. This usually happens through progress tracking and regular meetings between the sponsor and the responsible people in group called the core team.
Yes, Łukasz told you about the procedure with the sponsor, and I would like to share with you how we physically carry out the design and simulation of the target state during the 3P workshop. We are lucky enough to be not limited to just one option. And the first approach shown in the pictures you see in your screen can be called more traditional or classic. And to run the simulation, we just prepare a full-size cardboard mock-up of the workstation. Usually it's one takt, one station, or one sub-assembly cell. And on this one-to-one scale model, we arrange materials, we arrange racks, assembly aids, and tools. And once the station is set up, is ready, we simulate assembly or production tasks, measuring times and checking for ergonomics. And the whole process is recorded on camera. Using cardboard allows us to make changes and improvements almost immediately, which is a big advantage. Of course, creating a full-scale simulation requires organizing some space, enough space in advance, because empty halls are not always available. This is not our usual state. And the final state, once it's simulated and once it's approved, is being documented with photos, videos, and later transferred into a digital workstation.
We have also another approach. You have already seen the classic form of 3P workshop where we use the cardboard mockups and vehicle prototypes at different stages of assembly. Now we want to show you a tool that takes us into the virtual world. The 3P VR application is our Volkswagen Group tool, and after a couple of years of using this application, I can truly say it doesn't replace the physical workshop, it complements it. With this tool, you can experience the process from a first person or third person perspective, just like a workshop participant, and try what it feels like to build a car on the production line. At the start of the simulation, you saw a list of tasks that must be done in the right order. Then you go through the assembly process guided by the app, and parts are shown in their real positions, and the right part lights up so you can find it easily in the container. When you place it in the vehicle, the program tells you how to install it. And this application also includes an advanced module for detecting part collisions during assembly. And similar to the version with cardboard mockups, here we can also plan and simulate the material placing along the production line. Available options include standard racks, floor racks, standard containers, and also specialized containers for parts. For the workshop, we can invite also many participants and join them to the simulation to run a workshop without using a physical parts or factory infrastructure. Our approach is similar to the classic version. The benefits of running 3P workshops are multi-dimensional, but the most important to us is engaging factory employees in planning the production process and solving problems found during planning or making the full test. And thanks hand-on work, we reduce waste, prevent losses and mistakes, and build a shared understanding among employees from all involved departments, who also creating team spirit, and people who went through a new model launch together not only share a common goal, they often build connections and even friendships that have a positive impact on teams across the company for the next years.
Yes, and thanks to the holistic approach, we gain a very broad perspective that covers all the key elements of the production process, from the material supply to the assembly and all their connections. And the workshop conclusions can also lead to cost-effective product changes, for example, by suggesting and implementing design modifications that speed up assembly tasks. A comprehensive approach, a wide group of participants and working in realistic production conditions also give us the ability to react faster to changing circumstances and to develop different process alternatives.
Someone may say, I don't need 3P workshop because my process was planned by experts and the most experienced team will start production without mistakes. Would that person still get benefits from 3P? My answer, in that case, the benefits might be less visible. But in the same time, I would ask, what if you don't have only experts and most experienced team in the world? Can you afford that risk? I will leave this question without an answer, but after this short talk, I hope you already know it.
Okay, thank you very much for listening. And any questions? We see there are some questions in the chat.
Yes.
Window.
Actually, the question that I read in the chat is actually out of scope of this of your presentation. So please rather answer the question that was put in the question and answer from Gerhard Martin. How much effort is to build up a VR model compared to the cardboard prototype? And I know, Łukasz, that you are very familiar also with cardboard technology.
Yeah.
So please answer this question.
I think in the preparation phase, it's similar because the classic approach also afford some preparation from us, and we need to buy the cardboards, prepare the area, and inform all participants about the workshop process. But for the VR application, we need to take the data, and 3D model. This is very important for us. We should have all models from our parts. Then we have to scan our area as a factory infrastructure to build the real simulations. And year by year, the process preparation time is shorter. And now this is a couple hours for one each workstation.
Yeah. We actually also depended, according to this virtual model, from our suppliers. So if the suppliers are able to deliver us 3D data, then it's fine. As long as they don't, we have to seek for alternatives, and that's not always easy. And that's not always easy in an old infrastructure. Nowadays, the standard is actually that the whole documentation is also 3D. So for newer models, this process is also a lot easier and a lot shorter. But you have to also keep in mind that using virtual reality is not for everyone because of some, because it's a closed environment, a closed virtual environment, and it's pretty exhausting sometimes for a longer period. Compared to the traditional method. So as Łukasz mentioned, it's more like they complement each other, the both methods. So we would likely more use 3D data on a very early phase, and then to check if the process correct, then we would use probably cardboard mockups to check the final stage of the simulation.
Okay, thank you. There is another question also in the question and answer pod. Can you share the results comparing before and after?
Unfortunately, it is not allowed to share
Okay.
results because this is not only internal. But I can say that we reduce many waste. The process waste is waiting for and the roads for the workers to the workstations that can be implement the new solutions of our optimized state, but not the results clearly can we show now.
There are also actually not only one, but at least two questions from Roman Zachny at the chat. Can you read it? It's longer. Give an example of type of list of measures that most often emerges from a workshop and that leads to process improvement and problem solving. How is systematic monitoring of progress and enforcement of deadlines done? What tools or metrics, KPIs, are used for this? What mechanism ensures that implementers have the necessary resources, time, budget, staff to effectively implement the measures from the list of measures? So a lot of questions.
Yes,
very complex.
Maybe to put it simple, we have a defined project scope and a defined budget, and that's
for the launch.
For the launch. So we have to keep in mind that we also are limited to some financial situations. But a list of measures is a really simple approach. It's really we put our efforts into defining the real problem. What's the real problem? That's the main the starting point, and defining in the workshop 1, 2, 3 alternatives in solving this problem. And by doing this and by defining responsible people, we then discuss the time it should be finished, the whole solution,
yes,
as a target state. And we also use internal system for tracking this list of measures, which is also connected with our Outlook. With our Outlook
it could
system.
be digital platform.
It could be a digital platform. So you could use a simple SharePoint list to do it.
But the SAT, this is the regular meetings between
Yes.
the sponsor
Yes.
and the responsible person. We know that our workshop participants are cross-functional. Then we could the right assign the competent person to the measure, and then the sponsor effort implementation. This is, I think, this is the most important.
Yes.
When you have
Tracking afterwards in
Yes.
In sessions, like regular sessions.
Regular
So that's
sessions.
very, very important.
Okay, I'm afraid the time is actually finished. So, Jakub and Łukasz, thank you very much for your presentation and also for answering the questions. Good luck. And as you see, a lot of applause
Thank
you
you.
received from around almost 80 participants. So good luck. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Bye.